Welcome to your Tech News Today, where we keep you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. It's Tuesday, April 16th. I'm Monica G, sitting in for Mike James. Coming up in a bit, we're going to tell you what you need to know about a massive email hack that was just discovered and how it's worse than originally thought. Then find out why tens of thousands of donated iPhones are being scrapped. Plus, how AI is predicting who lives and dies in the final season of a wildly popular TV show, and new flavors coming to grocery stores near you could have been created with the help of artificial intelligence. We'll get started in a moment, but first, I'd like to recognize our partners who help make these Komando podcasts possible. We start with another big data breach, and this one potentially involves your sensitive emails. And it's worse than previously thought. When this hack was first discovered, it looked like the cyber crooks only had the ability to read folder names, subject lines, and names of other email addresses, but that wasn't all. These hackers could also read what was in the emails across a lot of different accounts. The question is, was your email account affected? Here's the first indication. If you were recently notified by Microsoft that your Outlook or Hotmail account might have been accessed, Microsoft has been reaching out to those they believe were affected, telling them to reset their passwords. If you received a message like that, change your password immediately. According to Microsoft, one of its support agents' credentials were apparently compromised, which allowed the crooks to gain unauthorized access to Microsoft email accounts. The hackers had access to the affected Outlook, MSN, and Hotmail accounts between January 1st and March 28th. To protect the email account owners, Microsoft immediately disabled the compromised agent's credentials and blocked the hackers' access. What they didn't say is how many people were affected by the incident, only that it was a limited number of consumer accounts. The company also said that enterprise accounts were not affected. Like I said, the hackers had access to basic info and, in some cases, all email content. Microsoft said the cyber criminals had full access to about 6% of the affected accounts. 6% may not sound like much, but that's still potentially thousands of Microsoft accounts where private and confidential emails could be viewed. So if you have an Outlook, Hotmail, or MSN email account, even if you haven't heard from Microsoft, change your password just in case. And that's just the first step in cases like this, where your security and privacy is put at risk. You also need to think about your other online account passwords. Are you using the same password across multiple accounts? Has your email address or password already been exposed in previous breaches? We have all the tips for checking and securing your accounts at Komando.com. That's not the only bad news for Microsoft over the past few days. An Internet Explorer flaw could also be putting you at risk. Security researcher John Page found another unpatched security flaw in Internet Explorer that attackers can exploit to spy on Windows users and even steal their local files. The exploit appears to be in Internet Explorer's handling of MHT web archive files. And watch out, you don't even have to actively use Internet Explorer for the hack to work. Having it installed on your PC is enough to initiate an attack. The flaw is not limited to older PCs either, since it affects Windows 7, Windows 10, and Windows Server 2012 R2. So what can you do about it? Well, since this flaw is already publicly known, it can put Internet Explorer users at risk. More importantly, Microsoft is not addressing the vulnerability immediately, but is planning on rolling out a patch in a future release. But if you're still using Internet Explorer, you may want to switch to another browser very soon. There are definitely safer and much more modern options out there. What would you do if you lost your iPhone? Or worse, what if it was stolen? First, you should use Find My iPhone to try to locate it. And in the worst case scenario, remotely wipe it. Then you report it as lost or stolen to prevent it from being resold. There are serial number blacklists, IMEI locks, and more importantly, iCloud account locks that can prevent your iPhone from being reactivated. But here's the thing. If you're planning to give away your old iPhone to a friend, donate one to charity, or sell it to someone else, you need to disable the iCloud activation lock. If you don't, it'll render your old iPhone virtually useless for anyone else. The iPhone's activation lock feature is just doing what it's supposed to do. It prevents thieves and scammers from reactivating stolen iPhones, but because it's not being disabled when you decide to upgrade, it can never be set up as new again. And that's exactly what's happening. A new report by the Colorado Public Interest Research Group says the Wireless Alliance, an electronics recycling facility based in Colorado, received over 66,000 activation-locked iPhones since 2015. Because they're locked and thus unusable, the iPhones were scrapped for parts instead. In fact, 1 in 4 iPhones the facility received in 2018 had activation locks. Yeah, tens of thousands of iPhones that could otherwise go to someone else are being parted out or simply thrown out. So how do you get your phone ready to part with? Check out Komando.com to find out how to remove the iCloud activation lock. But remember, only when you're ready to move on from your old device. And if you're shopping for a used iPhone, watch out for a big red flag if you're looking for it on eBay, Craigslist, or other marketplace. If it's iCloud locked, it's not only useless, it could be stolen merchandise. Just ahead, Game of Thrones is back, and if you don't want to wait until the end, a new algorithm predicts who lives and who dies in the final season of the popular HBO show. And stick around so you can find out how to spot a fake Facebook friend request. Right now, let me tell you about our sponsor at Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio. Discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss an opportunity to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Tech News a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at money.robinhood.com. That's money.robinhood.com. Since its premiere, HBO's Game of Thrones has been saturated with death. In fact, many fans see character deaths as a defining trademark of the hit show. Each season, viewers tune in to see if their favorite characters make it through to the end, with some even rooting for the deaths of characters they despise. Joffrey. There's even a cottage industry of betting on Game of Thrones deaths, with bookies raking in money each season from the show's violent antics. Who knew? Because of Game of Thrones' grisly nature, fans and gamblers alike want to know their characters' odds of survival before sitting down and pledging time to another season. With HBO clamping down on leaks and spoilers to an incredible degree, how are fans expected to make accurate predictions or prepare themselves for the emotional shock of a beloved character dying? As it turns out, a group of data scientists at a German university felt the same way. So they created a computer algorithm that calculates the probability of a character dying based on multiple points of information, such as gender, family house, and marriage status. The results are presented as a percentage-based odds that can give fans some much-needed hope during Season 8. In order to make the most accurate predictions about Game of Thrones' upcoming season, data scientists built their algorithm around machine learning and in-universe data points. By matching characters with highly specific information about their current status in the world of Westeros, the algorithm would be able to compare and rank them in order of most survivable to least. With that info, the algorithm analyzes trends in order to make its predictions. Things like analysis of gender prove that male characters in the show are much shorter-lived. Yeah, no joke. Of course, it gets much more specific than that. So do you want to know who will live or die according to the algorithm? Brace yourself. The next character to die is... Oh, just kidding. I'm not going to spoil it here, even if it is just an AI prediction. However, if you do want to know who's got the best chance at living and who's most likely on the way out, see some of those predictions over at Komando.com. There's only a few episodes left, and winter is definitely here. If you've been using Facebook for some time now, you're probably familiar with the massive amounts of notifications that pop up from upcoming birthdays, events your friends are going to, and other random activities. There's also those friend requests from people you may not even remember. The reason your brain can't remember some of these folks is probably because you don't really know them at all. Be suspicious about these potential bad actors, as they may want more than to just be friends with you. It makes you wonder whether they may be after information that you don't want to share with complete strangers. So let's break down whether your friend request could be a fake one and how to spot it. Fake Facebook requests can be received for any number of reasons, from harmless to malicious. Scammers create fake Facebook profiles and request to be your friend solely to gain access to your personal data, such as contact details or other personally identifiable information that's restricted to friends only. This type might be useful in setting you up for a phishing attack. You might also receive friend requests from attackers who are looking to post malicious links to malware or phishing sites, which can end up in your Facebook newsfeed after you accept their friend request. They just won't give it a rest. Always question those people behind that attractive profile picture that you don't recognize, as they may not be exactly who you think they are behind the scenes. Catfishers like to create extensive online profiles using photos of beautiful models in an attempt to hook victims looking for love online. They might also send out random friend requests to huge numbers of people before finding a willing victim. Sometimes they're just too good looking. If you unfriend a person who you'd like out of your digital circle of friends, your ex can still find a way back to your Facebook account. They do this by creating a false profile and befriending you using an alias that allows them to keep up without you knowing they're on the other side keeping tabs on you. Nice. And it might not just be your ex. Your current significant other could be questioning your devotion in unethical ways, where they resort to creating a false profile with an engaging profile picture to test your response to suggestive posts or chats. This information could be recorded with the intent of using it against you later. This is where you should do your due diligence while being on the lookout for clues that a friend request might be bogus. And there are some questions you should ask yourself before accepting. We have a list of some of those questions, along with how you can find the answer, at Komando.com. Facebook is already taking advantage of you. Don't let anyone else do the same. Coming up, AI tries its hand in the culinary arts to find those perfect flavors. Right now, a quick thank you to our friends who help make these podcasts possible. In tomorrow's Tech Today, ever wonder who or what decides how your food is supposed to taste? Of course, you've got chefs, food connoisseurs, and an endless number of companies constantly working to make your meals taste better while also trying to come up with new and exciting flavors. Maybe you've got your own favorite recipes that you've created yourself. Well, now there's another player in the game: artificial intelligence. Yep, another field AI is getting into. Last week, it was announced that food company McCormick and IBM have been working on a research project for about 4 years. Those two companies don't exactly go together like peanut butter and jelly, right? One of IBM's scientists says there could be a perfect ingredient you just don't know about. Maybe so. McCormick has 20 food labs in 14 countries, and the company's science officer says finding the right recipe for flavorful formulas usually means adding, subtracting, and changing ingredients. And sometimes there's up to 150 tries before they get it right. That's where AI comes in. The company's been working together using machine learning to help developers figure out which ingredients work best together. Now they're ready to have you taste test the results. Later this spring, McCormick is set to release a set of flavors for their One Skillet recipe mix line, like Tuscan chicken, bourbon pork tenderloin, and New Orleans sausage. Seriously, what isn't AI involved in now? If I think of anything, I'll let you know. And in this case, will AI get it right and help create new flavors you'll love? Check your favorite grocery store soon and you be the judge. The big question, though, does AI also think everything tastes like chicken? By the way, once you're done listening to Tech News Today, do us a favor and give us a good rating on wherever you're listening to us. Give us a couple good words so others can find us more easily. We'd really appreciate it. And finally, for today's Komando kicker, when you wake up in the morning, coffee and breakfast are must before starting the day. Well, for residents of a suburb in Jackson, Mississippi, breakfast has recently been coming directly to their doorsteps. Mysterious bowls of mashed potatoes have been showing up on the porches, mailboxes, and cars of hapless residents for no apparent reason. Naturally, there was fear that the potatoes might be poisoned, but so far, nobody has come forward and claimed to have eaten any. One of the residents has noted that several of the townspeople reporting potatoes on their door have connections to a nearby private school. Maybe this whole thing is a bizarre performing arts project. For more fun and interesting facts, go to Komando.com and search for the Komando Kicker. And check out these other hot topics trending right now at Komando.com, like if you're tired of being tracked online, you should consider trying alternatives to Google and their various services. We've got all kinds of ideas. Plus, Google's not the only one looking to track you and inundate you with targeted advertising. You guessed it, Facebook. Find out how to change your account settings and give those targeted ads a rest. And a phone scammer made a mistake by calling the former director of both the FBI and the CIA. Listen to the full story of how this former government director gave the scammer a taste of their own medicine. And that's your tech news today. If you enjoyed it, check out our other digital updates. You'll get tons of great information like our consumer tech update, packed with facts, opinion, and introducing you to the latest going on in tech underneath the surface. Tech News this week is filled with top tech stories, scams, security alerts, product reviews, and the crazy happenings in the world of technology. And don't miss Komando on Demand, where Kim provides in-depth insight on the ever-changing technology landscape by talking to tech industry movers and shakers. Subscribe for free on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or Podnet.com. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, every week on Kim's national radio show, she answers questions from people just like you who want to live their best digital life ever. Whether it's a family problem or business issue, or you're wondering how to get things done, you can make an appointment to speak with Kim. Use our dedicated caller line and leave a message at 602-381-8200, extension 290. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Tech News Today.